Hey, Janelle Springer here. So, in my research for potential causes and natural solutions for PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, I stumbled upon an eye-opening explanation. And when something just makes so much sense after years of not understanding, you get all giddy and you want to tell everybody that you know over the next 24 hours because it's so exciting. Well, this is one of those discoveries for me. And this just happened in the past couple days, so I wanted to share it with you real quick. But this won't be just related to my PCOS sisters. This will apply for other cases, so stick with me. I started noticing a pattern with women that I know that have PCOS also have what's called irritable bowel syndrome, and they had the symptoms of it, and that was the case for me. So I had both PCOS and IBS. So I decided to see what the connection was between having an insulin-resistant condition like PCOS and my gut. So this is what I found, and this is what's so cool. It is very possible that it all started from an imbalanced gut, and I'm talking about the balance between good bacteria and bad bacteria. If your gut is imbalanced, you run the risk of developing what's called a leaky gut, and that's a very common term now, becoming more popular. People know what leaky gut is, but just in case you don't, leaky gut is when the tight junctions in your intestines that normally keep things out, so pretend this is the tight junctions, they keep things out like from your blood stream. They keep things out like toxins and undigested food particles. And when your gut is unbalanced, then those tight junctions can start to open up a little bit. And things like those toxins and food particles get through into the bloodstream, and this can cause problems. And that's what's called leaky gut. So I'm going to hold this up. So we start out with leaky gut. And leaky gut, when things start leaking through, you get inflammation. And usually it's a chronic inflammation problem. And what happens when you have inflammation is that your immune system gets activated and starts reacting. Some of the most obvious inflammation is food allergies. So once you have an activated immune system, this is the cool part, it can interfere with your insulin receptors, which then leads to insulin resistance. And I never knew that connection. I never knew that if my immune system is overreacting to something that's in the bloodstream, then it can actually hinder me from having my insulin receptors working properly. So insulin resistance is actually often associated with the condition PCOS. And anyone else that has insulin resistance problems, this all can relate to you too. So symptoms of PCOS in particular are irregular cycles, male pattern balding, hair loss, and actually extrafacial hair, infertility, things like that. So even if maybe you don't even know you have PCOS, but think about some of those symptoms and look it up and see if that's something that you've actually been dealing with, you just didn't know, because 1 in 10 women actually do have PCOS, and it's getting worse. What if looking at this thing right here, what if we were to address the issue here instead of addressing it here, where we tend to address PCOS or insulin resistance with drugs, like metformin or something like that, or even if it is natural, what if we're just kind of taking care of the symptoms here, but we're not addressing the original cause? And I found that's what was like, oh my gosh, that is the eye opener for me, because I've actually been doing both, but this is the source of the problem. So what if we could do that instead and get your gut balanced? If you don't know how to do that, please talk to me. I'd be glad to share with you what I've learned and what's been working for me. But seriously consider your options before medication. Focus on the potential source of possibly a leaky gut rather than masking the symptoms. I hope you found value in this video and that I appreciate you taking time to watch it. Please feel free to share it with anyone that you think that it could help, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.